This is a super duper important post to have a conversation about because for the longest time, older women get demonized when we're trying to help the younger ladies. And the patriarchy has helped to triangulate older women against younger women and vice versa, when the older ladies are simply trying to point out warning signs and tell women that this is not the way, this is a power imbalance, these are red flags, etc. So let's get into this post in the marriage subreddit. She says, age gap marriages only. Be honest. She says, I'm in an age gap marriage as well. We started dating when I was 21 and he was 45. Now we've been together for like 11 years. I am wondering who can honestly say there's no power imbalance or manipulation in your marriage. Listen to this part. Listen to this part. I used to think that people who told me how toxic an age gap marriage can be were just jealous. I thought everything was fine. Then I went to therapy and realized how, excuse my French, effed up my marriage is. He's alienated me from having any friends or close family, so I had no sense of how much I'm just a doormat, as I've recently been told. So, like, how toxic do you think your marriage is, honestly? My sister is dating and might soon get engaged, and older gentleman. I'm sorry, to an older gentleman, and I'm trying to persuade her to not. But being in an age gap marriage myself for several years doesn't really give me much credibility. Anytime I see these posts with these big age gaps, even like 10 years or more, and the woman is in her early 20s, I start waving the red flag because at this particular point, she's just out of high school. She hasn't yet established her career or finished up her education, her post high school education. So this power imbalance would be ridiculous. This man is old enough to be her dad. There's no way there couldn't be a power imbalance. And if it were me, I would be waving a red flag all over the place. But like she said, she used to think women like me would be jealous. It's like, no, I have already been 21 before. I am now, I'll be 44 this month. And it's just like we're just trying to help the younger ladies avoid being taken advantage of, isolated, financially dependent on somebody that might just be controlling. We're trying to help women. And the way men have been able to paint older women as bitter, angry, jealous, and all of that, it has worked. And more women, young ladies, keep walking into their traps because the men have been able to triangulate young women versus the older women. Nutmeg Tail says overall, older women telling you to avoid older men are not jealous. We've been where you are and want to save you the pain from the power imbalance, like how you feel about your sister. We don't want those weirdos. And then the IC secretary says, I know, I understand, and it makes me want to cry about it, how incredibly like naive I was. And then Nutmeg Tail says, every post I see where a woman is under 23 with a guy over 40 makes me feel like that. No, she's not mature for her age. No, she's not a kid at, I'm sorry, he's not just a kid at heart. No, age is not just a number. These a-holes seem to read the same playbook. I'm really sorry. I hope you can get out. You're still very young. I was a single mom at your age and found a wonderful age appropriate man I adore. 28 years on is so much better with an actual partner. CMB CMB says, you were naive because you were so young. It's not your fault. I had a similar age gap with my first husband, and my outlook was so similar to yours. I'm now married to an absolutely amazing man my own age, and life is good. There's no reason to stay in a situation that is making you miserable. Longfly says, you weren't stupid getting into this just young, but almost anyone over 30 understands how effed up it is to have an age gap like you had. The older person is usually looking for naivete and someone docile. They've convinced the younger person that they're special and so mature. They minimize people's concerns by calling it jealousy, which honestly is one of the few things a 21-year-old might believe because they've been groomed to believe their relationship is special. They're far too young to see the power imbalance. Age gaps matter less when you're over 30. Like a 30-year-old and a 50-year-old can often work. Many people in your situation get out by the time they're 30 and old enough to realize the issue. You can too. Be compassionate to yourself. You did the best you could with the maturity you had at the time. And this is why they try to lock women down when they are in their early 20s, because they know that they don't have the finances to get out. They know that they don't have the experiences and the know-how to maneuver when they get trapped. This is the reason why I just really don't like it when young girls get married and get caught up or become stay-at-home moms, because they don't have the tools yet. One day, someone asked me the question, like, why am I perfectly fine with the woman being child free and knowing that she's child free really early on, but I don't think the same about women who want to get married early? I said, because women who get married early get trapped. If you say that you don't want kids, you're not trapped in anything. So what happens at the back end or the consequences are not the same. All right, let's say Acrobatic Mo says 100% right. Just wanted to add that for a lot of people, it takes 30 years to develop their personality. Maybe that's the reason why under 30 people are so vulnerable to getting groomed. Maybe we need people to talk about this at schools, like the drug addicts who come in and tell their story. Prevention is key. Oh, wow, to this story. She says, I was 19, he was 38. I'm now 40 and he's turning 60. I'm climbing out and hoping to be divorced in 3 years. Financial abuse does a number on your ability to leave. Huge power imbalance. He's also mother enmeshed. I wish I could go back and scream at my younger self. I really, really wish that we could get through to the teenagers and early 20 somethings so that they don't get like this. Okay, for this post, she says, my husband and I are 13 years apart, but we met when I was 36, 42 now, both divorced and both with older kids. We're pretty even in maturity and life experience, so we're doing well. I think the power imbalance comes into play when one partner hasn't reached full maturity brain-wise, around 25 to 27, or established in their career and life goals yet. We still have some interesting challenges due to the gap. He just retired, and I just graduated college and started a new career. But we're both well established in our lives when we met, so started on even ground. I'm sorry you're going through that. And yeah, you were so young, and I can see why there was a power imbalance. Never too late to do what's best for you, though. So this is so even and pretty much what I was thinking. Like literally, when somebody is, well established, they know how to maneuver, they've been there, they've already been married, they know what they really want. This is not such a big deal. I start sounding the alarms when someone is so young. Darlin Love says, just got into the umpteenth fight with my husband. Met him when I was in my early to mid 20s, when he was in his 30s. I regret it so much. Just realized that I thought I was mentally mature at the time to be dating him, but in actuality, he was just mentally at the same age as me. He's still at the same early 20s age mentally, to be honest. All right, now I just want to focus on two more comments. Rad1Red says, crucify me, Reddit, but age gap marriages where the woman is older seem to be happier, at least from what I've seen. Double standard, I don't know. It is what it is. And then Tennis Proper says, I was mid 20s, she late 30s. We've been together around 30 years now, and it's all good. No power imbalance. It's probably very different this way around, though. And I think so, too. But you guys can weigh in on what you think the dynamics are when it's an older woman versus a younger man. I just don't think that women are looking to really take advantage of youth the way men are. And obviously, I could be wrong. There could be some grooming. There could be some nefarious intent. But these were like the only couple of comments that were kind of positive about age gaps. All right, join the conversation. Let me know what you think about this. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.